And we should be live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Apple Sheep, Tailosive Tech everywhere. It's your slightly late live stream for the Tech Channel Thursday night, hoping to reach different audiences across the globe at a time that's more available. Please, enough with the questions about why are you streaming this late into the night? It's not all for you, okay? We got fans all over the place. That's why I'm here. All right, here we go. Yes. But it's not available. Oh, yeah. I've got a special surprise for this live stream, but I won't wait until I will wait until everyone gets in here first, and then I'll tell everyone what's going on. Hello, I'm back. Review Chromecast Ultra. What's there to review, honestly? It's like it works. It airplays. Here come the Ginger Lord. That's me. Live in Chicago, but visiting Mexico. You are awesome. Thank you. All the way from Russia. Wow. See, this is why we live stream this late. It's for better times. But I've got some incentives for tonight's live stream. So to people who were maybe interested in super chatting, but maybe want a little bit more than just your question answered, I have a little game we can play. It's a classic game. It's not even really a game. It's basically just something basic. Ever heard of helium? Okay, we got this Valentine's Day balloon that is still filled with helium. And here's the goal. If collectively you guys in Super Chat tonight can reach 100, I will drink the helium and then answer comments with the helium in here, okay? It's not rigged, all right? So you guys can collectively do it. It doesn't have to be one donation. It's just as much as you want, and then you guys get to hear what my voice sounds like with helium, which I imagine is pretty interesting. I haven't done that in a few years. It's bad for you. I do it in moderation. I don't do it very much. Pixel running iOS or iPhone 10, Note 8 running Android? Well, I don't like that question because, first of all, I don't have to answer that because iOS would never be on an Android device and Android would never be on an iOS device. So luckily, I don't have to think about that. I can't decide, and luckily, I don't have to. It's that easy. A whole balloon is not moderation. Okay, well, it's already kind of, look at this, like, it's already kind of going down. I won't drink the whole thing at once, but it'll be entertaining enough. It'll be interesting. And if I die on here, that'd be hilarious too. Why are you in a dark place? Lights are off. I mean, you can see me. That's the point. I don't need you to stare at what's behind me right now. We could turn on the lights, but I mean, that would be half the room. My computer is right in the dead middle of the room, so I'd have to basically turn on 30 light bulbs to light me, which could be fine, but also you guys can see me fine. You know what's going on. There's a white desk over there and some old computers over there. Are you good at art? I used to be. I used to want to be an animator. I used to want to draw all the time, but now I suck at art. I can't draw anything. But I use the Apple Pencil for making video thumbnails. In a way, you could call that art, I guess. But yeah, for the most part, no. Have you ever met your fans in real life? Yes, actually. The last time I went to the Apple Store to pick up all three of my I picked up two there. I picked up my HomePods at the Apple Store. I actually ran into two of my fans, you guys watching, both of which did not realize that I was in that area. They lived in that area of the Apple Store. And when they ran into me, they were like, oh, I never even clicked that you would be here. I watch your stuff. So that was interesting. One of them worked for Sprint. One of them worked for T-Mobile. And they actually started arguing with each other about phone plans. It was kind of funny. Have you headed of the new text message bugs with those Indian characters? No, because my friends are not mean. They don't text me characters that crash my phone. That's not a problem I run into. You realize the only reason this is a problem is because other people keep talking about it. So whenever everything Apple Pro tells everyone that this bug crashes the phone and everyone else starts posting articles about this text crashes the phone, they're the ones causing the problem. It's not like a ton of people are sending that code. Okay. Back in my day, the Apple Store was actually an Apple Store. I mean, like, could you buy apples there? Is that the question? Anyway. So I have the gaming channel on replay. How many hours do you have on there? I could check. But regardless, we don't make much on that anyway. So that's why it's not a huge deal to us right now. We want to wait until we can make more consistent content on there because we can work for hours and hours on gaming right now, but only once a week. And in that resort, it doesn't affect very much. But I'll check just because I haven't checked in a while. Let's see. Watch time. I'm going to have to do some basic math here. You know what? No, Siri can do this basic math. Never jailbroken. Not a fan of jailbroken. Okay. Do you think the iPad mini could be completely gone soon? Very possibly. Okay, watch time. 213,000 minutes. Let's see. Hey, Siri. What's 213,000 divided by 60?
213,000 divided by 60 is 3,550.
Okay, so we're 500 hours away from being in the monetization goal. You guys probably all heard that too now. Sorry. I could have muted the stream, I guess. My bad. Okay. Let's see. So when do you think the iPhone will get 5G network? Probably this year. I mean, there's barely any places that would support 5G to begin with, but regardless, it would be I don't know of any places or carriers that can do 5G connection anyway. I mean, it might start appearing, but I wish they would just make their data plans better with 4G LTE, because I can't even get full bars of LTE everywhere right now, so I don't care much about 5G. But likely this year's iPhones at the end of the year will have 5G. Drew, you got a dope goatee going on. Thank you, Magical Max. My girlfriend actually trimmed this for me a couple days ago, so that was nice of her. She said it was getting a little too long, so she trimmed it up a little bit. And yeah, I like it. I think it looks good. Okay, now that I know you're close to your watch goal, I'm going to leave it on while I sleep. Okay, you don't have to do that. Keep in mind, it's not like it fixes everything for us. But see, you said watch goal, and I immediately thought of my activity rings, which I have actually closed. I closed these before I went live. So that's still my goal every single day. I've done that every day of February. Oh, got our first super chat. Okay, we get to 100 in super chat tonight. And I'll answer questions with this. How about that? Okay, Angus says, do a mini diss track on Samsung now. Okay. Oh, God. Do diss tracks have to be good? If I do it right now, it's not going to be good. If you gave me some time, I could actually think of some good puns. Your batteries blow just as much as your camera. Your skin's got no style. No, I like Samsung though. I can't think of enough bad things to say. You got you got to put the little buffering thing on my forehead. I don't want to do a diss track on Samsung. There's not enough things to say. You're getting a $2 diss track right now. Let's see more. I can't. I'm trying to think of things that rhyme. I don't want to just spew out like random disses that don't have any rhymes, because then everyone's going to be like, man, this has sucked. But I'm like, there's like a diss track in there on something. That was a mini diss track. Make a joke about washing machines and TV. If you put as much focus into your speakers as your camera, maybe I could hold my phone normally. No, I don't know. It's too difficult. You put me on the spot. I can't do it. What languages can you speak? American, English, and Australian. Why aren't you using your normal setup? This is an easier one because setting up the older one, I have to. And last time I tried to do the old one, everyone got upset. Oh, Zach Tech Reviews, big super chat. Okay, let's fast track this. Also, what's your opinion on in-display fingerprint readers? Shameless plug. I have a few videos on my channel. Keep up the great work. Check out Zach Tech Reviews, everyone. Thank you for the super chat. Again, I thought I was clear about this, but I do not care about in-display fingerprint readers because my hands suck. My fingerprints are always changing. Fingerprint sensors never worked on me. They never worked, which means that even if they put Touch ID back onto the iPhone, onto the display, I still wouldn't use it. I can't use it. It's that simple. But thank you, Zach. So what are we at now? 20. Can someone translate super chats into US dollars so we can figure out how close we are to this thing? And then we can answer some comments in the helium voice just for fun. Okay, we're at, well, that's Canadian dollars, and the first one was Australian dollars. So if we convert that to US dollars, I'm not exactly sure how much that is. Oh, another one. Here's another 10 just for the heck of it. Okay, you guys are Zach wants to see this voice. He wants to hear this voice. Okay. Do you think we need different shapes, sizes of AirPods that don't fit everyone? I can't think of a different size that would happen to fit everyone, but because I'm very satisfied with what they are now. That's a good question, though. Like maybe there should be a pair of AirPods that has like the rubber seal one. You still want that disc track? Oh, I don't know. That a disc track's a big commitment, dude. I gotta like write it and I gotta plan it and stuff. I can't do that for $4. That's like I said 100 to drink this, to suck on that helium. I'll keep thinking of disses. Okay, I'm gonna keep thinking about it. I can joke about the camera. I can joke about the software on the skin. I can joke about them copying Apple. I can joke on their advertising. It's got less grip than the glass that you build your phones with. S9's got less ideas than S5. I don't know. There's not enough to make fun of with Samsung. Ask for a Pixel disc track. Okay, you're at 2660 if my math is correct. So translating our super chats, the two people who have been super chatting into US dollars, it looks like we're at 2660. Thank you. Okay. Make a diss on the Pixel team. You should know that there's a lot more content to work with, but I also want to answer other people's questions too, whereas we could easily spend this entire live stream focusing on making a diss track. Every time I clicked on the chat, the YouTube app would crash. I'm on my Mac now. Oh, that's not good. Sorry, Adam. YouTube. It's 36 in different countries' currency. If you have to get rid one thing from the iPhone, what would you remove? The lightning port. I'd never use it. Never need it. I'd be fine with a portless phone because I never use the lightning plug on my iPhone 10. It's never been used. There's no headphone jack, so I wouldn't say that. How do I super chat? I guess it's a better way to answer. You use a browser. So if you're on mobile, use Safari, find the live stream on there, and super chat will be an option. The dark mode is coming to the YouTube app on iOS. I haven't played with that, but I've seen a lot of people. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talking about it. I want to try that sometime. Did you turn 20 already? I'm 20, but thought you were 27 before the last video. Yeah, a lot of people still don't believe me. You can check my Twitter. I posted an expired driver's license. So first of all, I blurred out the personal information, and it's an old driver's license anyway. I just got my new one, but it literally has my birth date on it, 1998. And no, to answer your question, I am not yet 20 years old. I am still 19 at this time. But because I don't want comments and notifications being filled with the happy birthday thing, I don't tell everyone exactly when my birthday is. What I will say, though, is that by the next time we're live streaming, I'll be 20. So that's not a specific answer, but it infers. By the next time we do a tech stream, I'll be 20 years old. So this is my last teenage live stream ever. This is a surreal moment. The next time I do a tech live stream, I will no longer be a teenager. That's fascinating. No, don't comment happy birthday on every video. No, please don't. I want comments that pertain to the topic at hand. What does it mean to say happy birthday anyway? Like just telling someone to be happy. Imagine if someone was going through a rough time and you just told them to be happy. That's not advice. Same with happy birthday. It's like the laziest way to tell someone that they went around the sun one time. Come on. It's soulless. There's no thought put into that. Give someone a gift or don't say anything. Just move on. I'm not like gonna be offended if people don't say happy birthday to me. In fact, when it's my birthday, I turn off I turn off the birthday notification that a lot of people will get on Facebook and stuff or on Twitter. If they see that it's your birthday, I'll just turn that off the day before my birthday and then turn it back on the day after, just to see who actually remembers. Okay, thanks for trying. Love your vids, by the way. I'm sorry, Angus. I want to do better. I I know that everyone's going to leave and everyone's going to make fun of me if I just tried to. I could just spew out random things about Samsung and just talk in a weird way, but then everyone would be like, "No, that's stupid." So I want to give you a quality diss track, but then again, this is YouTube, so that's not possible. All right. Yeah, but your birthday is a special day for everyone to feel unique. Why shouldn't you feel happy? To me, it's not a big deal. You went around the sun. I don't understand why that has to be celebrated so much, but regardless, I'm 19 right now. I'll be 20 by the time we do another tech stream. What do you want next what do you want next Apple product despite of next generation? What next? What? Okay, AR glasses. Is that what you mean? Like not a next generation product? A smaller version of the HomePod, but I guess that's kind of a next generation thing. What happened to your forehead, Drew? This is called psoriasis. It's when your body makes too many skin cells. So my body decided to form a notch, just like an iPhone 10, at the top of my forehead. There is actually there's actually medicine for it. The problem is it's a bottle about this big and it costs $100. We've tried all the at-home appliances and all the cheaper DIY medicines, and none of them really work very well. So I don't usually use very much. But wow, someone super chatted a lot. Zach, you really want me to suck the helium out of that? Okay, in my opinion, there are two types of tech channels on YouTube. Tech review channels. These channels review and try to stay unbiased. And tech fan review channels. These channels are very biased, almost blindly biased. Thoughts, and are there other types? Yeah, there's probably some truth to that. Okay, so you're saying they try to stay unbiased and focused, and then there's ones that are blindly biased. I wouldn't say blindly biased is as common of a thing. I'd say that there are people who are biased with reason. That's where I would classify myself. I don't think I try to stay unbiased, but I don't also think I'm blindly biased. I think I'm biased, but I back it up with my facts and reasoning, and most people can't convince me otherwise, and I never result to saying just, well, you're wrong. I like Apple. Usually I have evidence to back it up. Yes, I think we know where you are. No offense. Love your channel. Yeah. Well, I'm not trying to be unbiased. I'm just saying I wouldn't call myself blindly biased. I think that's a little different. I definitely could think of a few YouTubers that I believe are blindly biased, but in your world, I wouldn't narrow it down to two that way. I would say probably the first one I agree with. There's one half of YouTube that is all just unbiased, just straightforward journalism. They list to you the facts. They just say exactly what the product is, and that's it. And they don't try to let other factors interfere with their decision. And then there's a second half, which is either bias or liars, which means that you either admit you're biased and that you have bias towards certain companies, or you pretend that you're not biased when you really are. And I think that's the majority of tech channels on YouTube, people pretending that they're not biased when they definitely do have a bias because they grew up with something, they got used to something, and now whenever they review, they're using it with that point of view, but they're trying to stay unbiased. So they say good things and bad things, but no, you wouldn't upset me. You can't upset me with super chats. Maybe there are other categories. Of course, you can't narrow everyone down into two. See, I would say Marquez is very good at being unbiased, but at the same time, he also would slip into being biased quite often. In fact, he admits it. He openly admits that he is biased several times. I think a good example of this is like the Pixel 2 decides to have single colored power buttons. So you got a white phone, but then the power button's orange for some reason, kind of a bizarre design choice, but say what you will, because Apple Watch Series 3 does something similar anyway. But then he says, I hope that the new trend is colored power buttons. So I hope that all phones for the rest of this year have a random color on the power button. And I'm like, really? That's just an awkward, weird design choice, and you're expecting everyone to do it? Everyone's biased. That's my point of view. No one is actually unbiased. There's just people who aren't. And I mean, there's just people who admit it and don't admit it. Any opinion on the new iOS bug? The only reason you realize that everyone knows about this random text that will crash your phone is because everyone keeps promoting it. if we all just stopped promoting it and stopped talking about it, this wouldn't be a problem. No, I've never gotten that text. I don't have any friends that actually would send that to me because my friends don't watch everything Apple Pro and I don't send it to them. No, it's just rude. It's unnecessary. Should I get Apple Watch now or wait for this year's ones? We recently talked about this. For those of you wondering, by the way, a bunch of people were asking recently when the next Tailosive Tech podcast is coming out. We just filmed one. It's a big one, actually, pretty long one. Calls. So if you wanted to call into Tailosive, you can do that on Tailosive. Just look at Tailosive Cast, and you can see where to find out new information on the Tailosive Tech podcast, which should be up pretty soon. What causes the HomePod to leave marks on surfaces, and why is it such a big deal for everyone? Looks like it would just wipe off the surface to me, but I don't have one, so I don't know. So first of all, it does not work on every surface. So I have 3 HomePods, one in the gaming room, one on my desk here, and then one under the TV, the desk stand. Desk stand. It hasn't left a mark on anything so far. So first of all, this only applies to very specific types of wood, not just wood, but also wood that has a pretty cheaply oil stain on it. So as in you stained the wood itself with oil and you didn't do a good job. Second of all, people have reported that it's not the HomePod that does that. It's any smart speaker. They put a Sonos one on that oil stained surface as well, played music on that. And just because it's a subwoofer, the speaker itself shakes, it starts to rub off the oil just because it's the speakers moving at a very high frequency. So that's the funny thing, is that people will find any particular reason to get upset about Apple, is that it will literally happen to anyone. That will literally happen to anyone. Doesn't matter if it's a HomePod or not. It's happened. Yeah, if you have a $350 speaker, do you have to put it on cheap wood? Honestly. And first of all, it's not something just HomePods do. But I mean, if you had wood like that, I'd say just put the HomePod on something else. I don't know. Just keep that in mind. If you haven't bought a HomePod yet and you have poorly stained furniture, it could rub off on that. The other suggestion is to just not move the HomePod. If it does make a stain, it makes a stain just as easily as a cup would. So what about no voice recognition accounts on HomePod? Again, that's something they can add, but I haven't had an issue with it so far. I guess I just don't have mean friends. My friends have not tried to text people via my HomePods. So if you're worried about that kind of thing, just don't have personal information turned on. It's very easy to turn off. Do you feel you're more of an Apple fan than I, Justine? Ooh, that's a good question, HB. In a different way, I would say I'm a defended Apple sheep, which means that I'm loyal to Apple and I defend them quite often, but mostly because of reasons I have. Whereas when I watch iJustine, I can't find her logic. I can't find her explanation as to why she prefers Apple. She's just kind of like, oh, everything's great. But then again, she has that towards everything, not just Apple. She's like, the Samsung phone's cool too. Oh, the DJI is cool too. It's just, everything's great. She loves everything. Oh, my Nintendo Switch is just everything she loves. Whereas me am more directly like, no, this is good, this is bad. So we're both huge Apple fans, but in different ways. I have bought the Osmo Mobile 2. I'm going to review it pretty soon. It's right back on the desk there. We've been vlogging with it over on Tailosive Talks. Do you grow or shave your armpit hair? Oh, I don't. You don't want to see that. What if Face ID came before Touch ID? Would you still feel the same and prefer Face ID still? Again, guys, Touch ID never worked for me. So anyone who's asking about Touch ID, whether it's under the display, on the back, or on the front, I could never use it. My hands wouldn't let me use it. So I would have always preferred Face ID. This is a it's a bias on top of a bias question you're asking. For one, I prefer Apple anyway. And if they want Face ID, I'll go with Face ID. For two, Touch ID never worked at all. So no matter what phone it was, or laptop or tablet, the Touch ID I could never use. We need to make a poster. Yeah, it's just like, I can't use Touch ID. I don't jailbreak. That's 2 posters I should have in the background of every live stream. People would still asking it. You should Apple allow external GPUs so I can finally game. They can, You can look up these things. They support external GPUs. Falcon Heavy launch was cool. I was really hoping they could retrieve the center rocket. I was sad that they lost that, but the sad part, the good news was that actually the most expensive part of the ship was still attached to the 2 side boosters, which did recover. And seeing those land right next to each other, that was so cool. That was like surreal. I got to watch that with my girlfriend live. It was really, really fun. And apparently he said that the titanium brackets that were on those side boosters were much more expensive. So if he had to lose a rocket, it would be the center core. That was the cheapest one. So hopefully next time they'll be able to land it. Face ID is good and all, but in recent jailbreaks, there are already tweaks to make it work faster. For example, if your phone doesn't have any new notifications, it'll open instantly instead of swiping up. Even that I wouldn't prefer, because then I have to turn the phone off. I have to power it off in order. Sometimes I just want to check what time it is or if there are notifications, in which case I'd use my watch anyway. But sometimes if I don't have an Apple Watch, I just want to look really quick. And if I looked up like this and it went straight to the home screen, I'd have to turn it off. Again, if you want the option to do that, fine. Okay, options are great, but I'm just saying I probably wouldn't use it anyway. How did you react seeing the bad AirPod reviews before the AirPods came out from CNET and such? Like every Apple product, I don't believe anyone until I try it myself, especially Apple products, because everyone always hates on Apple products way before they come out, and then everyone gets them and they sell like hotcakes. They sell really, really well. I subscribe to everything Apple Pro. I watch everything he posts, but I don't know him personally. I think he knows who I am, but I don't think he wants to talk. How well does the HomePod play with the Apple TV? Any lag issues while watching YouTube/Netflix? Not lag issues. No, we just go into video and audio and select the TV HomePod. And then, no, we've been watching Lost. I've been watching Seinfeld on it. It's been great. Really, really loud, really, really immersive. And no, there's no lag on it. It's wireless. Works well. No complaints. Every reviewer is like 10 reasons not to buy these Apple products, and yet they use it every day. Yeah, right. How about MKBHD Collab 2.0? Well, I still have contact info. So if I wanted to contact him, I guess I still could. But no, I haven't talked to him. He's replied to me on Twitter a couple of times since we collaborated. But if I did talk to him again, I'd probably go for a tech podcast, just because doing it on YouTube is just weird because we can't meet in person. We're so far away. So if we tried to do some type of collab, it would just be a Skype call again. I'd rather just do a sit-down podcast. They're easier to edit and stuff like that. So yeah, I kind of want to wait until not much is happening, and I think he's more free. He seems to be a really busy guy right now. So yeah, I'll let him do his thing, but I don't want to abuse my power and be like, "You're free now? Can we talk again? Can we talk again?" I don't know. So do you think we'll have a March Apple event? I don't. And again, we talk a lot about that on the Tech Podcast, so you should check that out. What do you think will be the next big thing for iPhone after this iPhone 10 design dies off? I know it'll be a long time from now. Basically, just imagine a phone without any bezels. No notch, no side bezels, just display edge to edge to edge. That's probably the next big step, I'm guessing. What are the specs of your game PC? Let's see. They're not really mine. I don't use it very much. It's in the back in the gaming room. But Wyatt uses it. It's a GT. It's old spec. We don't have the latest stuff on it at all. It's a GTX 660 NVIDIA card, Intel i7 3770K. It's a quad core. 16 gigs of RAM, 4 terabytes of storage. I believe that's it. So Samsung version. Yeah, I heard Samsung's going to copy Animoji. Yeah. Will iPhones ever support OTG? Drew, you need to make a mod again. Oh, here they come. Have you seen the Altered Carbon Netflix series? No, I saw it.
I just started.
He just started that, apparently.
Okay. Here's your truck.
Thank you.
Got your whipped orange. I got you.
Thank you.
Strawberry.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Blended strawberry.
Okay. If you buy an autonomous vehicle in case of failure, would you want to crash the car into a single person or multiple person? So first of all, last time I did a video on that topic, people got confused because they were like, why can't the car just not kill someone? we were trying to describe the situation in which someone had to die. So you're going 70 miles an hour, the car can't stop in time. There's someone jumped out in the middle of the street. If the car swerves, it'll hit a tree. There's just the extremely rare scenario in which there's nothing the car can do but kill someone. Should it favor the driver over pedestrians? If the driver's driving recklessly, should it kill the driver? And if the pedestrian's following the law, should it favor them? I would personally say, in my case, and I actually think this could be an option, maybe when you buy your autonomous vehicle, it would be like, if you can decide if your car's morality, if you want it to favor others or yourself. I would want it to favor others, meaning that in the event that someone had to die, I would let myself die first, just because I think that would be more noble and more respectful. So I would rather myself die than someone else. I think that when people ask that, I would be like, yeah, I'd sacrifice myself for a stranger, sure. Am I crazy for not noticing the difference in quality between my HomePod and Home Mini? Yes, there is a major difference, please. Even if you turned off the bass on a HomePod, it would still sound better than the Mini. I'll buy a Tesla when I can afford one, which, speaking of affording things, how close are we again to being at our $100 goal? As soon as we get there, guys, I'll drink the helium, you guys, and I'll answer things like that. And I'll answer things with that voice. It'll be great. I do have weird fingers. It's a disease. I did not choose this. It's genetic, by the way. I don't control it. Okay. Okay, Ben's saying there's issues, so I'll fix that. Okay. Okay, someone said 86. Oh, Angus donated again. My roast. Oh, he's got his own diss track. Cool. Okay. Yo, Samsung, what you doing? You keep the jack, which is a century old. Maybe you can't handle hate. Please touch your phones, and people touch your phones and it cracks and it glows. I think you have the same sheep fan base. There you go. There's your there's your diss track, everyone. Okay. You keep talking about how weird your skin is, but I've never noticed it. Good. You don't need to. It's not something you have to point out, but some people ask about it, and I have an answer. I'm not ashamed of it. It's just there's nothing I can do about it, so I just let it be there. Okay. You keep talking about how, yeah, we've already answered that. Can I buy your iPad Pro for $350? That's pretty low. I paid $1,000 for it. Keep in mind, if you wanted to buy my iPad Pro, again, I want my iPad. I use it quite often, but you could convince me I don't want it with the right offer. Like I'll send you one with like a signature on it or something like that. Something could work. Sorry, Zach. No, I don't have any plans to go to VidCon. I'm not a huge traveler, actually, in this part of life. If I were to travel, it would likely be with my family or girlfriend to a place she wants to go see. So yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I would go to VidCon because I have so much work to focus on anyway. And going there, I doubt I would meet a ton of fans. I'm sure I would meet some, but not a ton. iPad Pro for $700. Talk to me this summer, maybe. Okay, well, if you come to Canada, you can crash at my place. Thanks, Zach. I appreciate that. If I'm ever in Canada, I'll definitely let you know. Siri doesn't need to be smart. I think Siri gets more hate than she deserves. I think there's not been anything right so far that, and keep in mind, I've used the Google Assistant on my Google speakers for the past 3-4 months, and there's so far nothing Siri can't do that I need her to do, that the Google Assistant can. First of all, I think Siri gets more hate than she deserves. And second, Google Assistant gets more praise than it deserves. It goes off all the time when no one says Google. And it's just like, I'm listening now. And it's like, no one asked for that. My God, it's ridiculous. And there's a bunch of stuff that Google should be able to answer, but she doesn't. That basically, yeah, Harris, the one advantage Google has is a search engine. So it can save that step of searching something online. But I don't randomly ask questions to speakers all the time. If I can think of a podcast name, I could even say, Siri, play the Tailosive Tech podcast, and she'll do it. She can understand the word Tailosive, which I found interesting. Which in any song I can think of, if I want to, like at night, I want to listen to ocean sounds so I sleep better, I can just say, Siri, play ocean sounds, and she'll do that. But play a genre, she'll play that. If I want to text someone, she'll do that. So I don't get the whole idea behind Siri being stupid. I don't believe that. Oh, look at this. I got a perfect week. All activity. I closed my rings every single day this week. How hard is it to Google something? It's not, but again, it's not something I do often. I don't think you should I don't think you should not buy a HomePod because it can't do Google searches. That's not a good reason. If you don't believe I'm 19, check my Twitter. I have legal proof that I'm 19 years old. But by the next time we are doing a tech stream, I will not be 19. This is my last tech stream as a teenager. Can never turn that back. Never happen again. Pixel 2 camera versus iPhone 10 camera. Okay. Well, first of all, you only have one lens on that Pixel 2. AI can help you all you want, but as soon as you're recording something and you want to zoom in and get a better angle, you won't have that option. iPhone, you do. In fact, both lenses are dually optically image stabilized. So not only are you going to get better quality, you're going to get stable quality while filming, which is nice. iPhone 10 also has 4K at 60, something the Pixel 2 is not capable of doing. On top of that, when you want to take a portrait mode shot with an iPhone 10, and this goes for iPhone 8s and 7 Pluses as well, you can actually see what the portrait mode shot will look like before you take it. This is something the Pixel 2 cannot do. When you're taking portrait mode on the Pixel 2, you don't get to find out what it looks like until about 5 seconds after you've taken the picture. It has to load that in the background. Ascari says, Mike, at the $100 tier on Patreon, is there a certain number of months I have to be subscribed to get the podcast collab, or is it just the first month? Oh, yeah, someone's considering that. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. If, Ascari, I'll remember your name in the chat. I would rather be a part of your guys' podcast than try to squeeze in someone on mine. That's easier. So I might say that if you're a part of that tier for maybe 2 or 3 months, you can come on the tech podcast. And I'm not trying to say that I don't want you on the tech podcast. It's just there's so many people that are trying to get on that at once. But if you just do the 1 month thing, I will appear on your channel or your podcast as a guest appearance. So that's how I'd like to handle that. And keep in mind, guys, they're donating in lots of different currencies. So right now we're translating all those currencies into US dollars. Ben Close is running the numbers. And we're currently at $80.20. So 20 bucks left. And then my voice changes, not for long, but it'll be higher. I know that much. Whew. Okay. Will you ever upload on the main Tailosive channel again? Yes, we plan to, as soon as we can get Nathan up here full-time, hopefully, and he can be our dedicated cameraman. That way I can just and editor, and then I can just full-time write scripts, and I can just be the creativity guy. I think about what videos we need to make, and I can write scripts for stuff like Saturday Shorts, which will be fun. Please give your opinion on the HomePod losing to Google Home Max and Sonos in every single blind test. You mean blind test? I can't see. Are you talking about every single like digital assistant test? I would say that I don't use smart speakers because of the digital assistants in them. Tell me, I'd like to hear in the chat, whoever asked that, Marshall, whoever asked that, what's something that you need Siri to do that she can't? That's what I'd love to hear. Sound quality? Well, I disagree with that. Having listened to the Home Max and a HomePod, I can confidently say HomePod sounds better. Home Max is also singularly directional. HomePod's also cheaper, omnidirectional, and very bassy and never clips out. Home Max does none of that and also clips out. Siri can't turn on my torch. Okay, darn. If they made a red edition HomePod, would you buy it? I'd seriously consider it. Yeah, I think that'd look really cool. Not salmon or whatever ugly color that Home Mini was. That was not a pretty color. But a product red, like this watch band, product red HomePod, that would look pretty cool. It would kind of stand out a lot, but still it would look interesting. Would you use the HomePod if it wasn't smart, which means not having Siri, but AirPlay? It'd have to be a little bit cheaper, but yeah, I think if Apple made it, I'd still consider it. Home Max gets very distorted, especially after 70% volume. Me and my friend had a HomePod and Max right next to each other. The difference in sound was very obvious. Max was a lot louder, but it was more jarring, just kind of loud, and it just kind of started being hard to listen to, whereas the HomePod, even when fully maxed out, continues that crisp sound and quality, doesn't peak out. I think it's worth checking out for your guys' self. Go to an Apple store, go somewhere and try it out for yourself and see actually how these things sound. I guarantee the HomePod will surprise you quite a bit. The Home Max is like, geez, I paid $400 for this thing. It better be loud. And the $350 for the HomePod is kind of like, really, $350 for this? And then you listen to it and you're like, oh my god. There will be a tech podcast up very soon. We recorded one today. It was a big one too. The world is getting lazy. Screw Siri. Use your hands and type. Well, first of all, I have Siri on my watch, which is something I can access anywhere. Don't think you Android users can do that. You're limited to the Google Assistant wherever your phone is or wherever your smart speaker is. Whereas sometimes if I'm on a run or something, I'll just leave my phone at the home or the office. And when I feel like it, when I go on my bike rides, I don't like having phones attached to me. And I'll just ride. And when I need to start monitoring my activity, I can just say, Siri, start an outdoor workout. Could I just donate $100 to you to have on interview/collab and bypass Patreon's fees or whatever? To have on your channel? Is that what you're saying? If so, if that's what you're suggesting, if someone's pitching that in the chat, actually, the better way to do it so that fees are not involved is likely PayPal, not Super Chat, because YouTube takes quite a big chunk out of Super Chats anyway. So you guys reach $100 donated, I get about 80 of that or less, actually. Would you like Apple to do a LTE version of AirPods that works standalone with Apple Music? No, that'd probably get a little too complicated. Just Siri and the AirPods? I don't know. I think that's a little too much. Can I donate $50 so you can tell Siri to take a picture of your armpits? Yes. Deal. Super Chat 50, I'll do it. You can do it on Android Wear. Well, is that really better, though? Does anyone actually use Android Wear? Because that's every person who works at Android Wear retires the next day they're hired. I might not even upload it on my tech channel. I just want it for personal reasons. Okay. As long as you understand it'd be for your purposes, not mine. Okay. In that case, yes. I'd say go ahead. If you super chat 100, I'll count that, and we can do a little 1 hour long interview. Will we see a collab vid with other tech YouTubers in the near future? I believe we're gonna have iUpdate OS. What's his name again? Sorry. He was in the last Ask Tailosive. We're gonna have him on the tech podcast really soon, and I'm also gonna be on. This might change, but one of the live streams for Painfully Honest Tech. He contacted me, and I think I'll be on his stream pretty soon. So yeah, there's some collaborations going on. They're going on. Have you thought about doing a whole video on the Samsung ecosystem and why Apple's is better? More lack thereof. There is a Samsung ecosystem, but it does not really compare to that of Apple's. So I would have to kind of buy a whole ecosystem if I wanted to do that, and I really don't. So it's not worth it. I think people crap on Apple so much because it's easy to disagree with, because it's one of those companies out there that is very different from their competitors, which are usually about options, which are usually about all the different possibilities you can have with your tech. And Apple's kind of a divisive company because they kind of say, this is how you do it. This is the way you go. You may think you want another way, but we're going to tell you what you want. I happen to think they're right. Most people don't want to be told what they want. That's kind of a very different way of approaching tech and consumers. So that's a little difficult. And it's also expensive. So that's something to get upset about, is things that are expensive. Ascari, you did it. It says, and here it is. Maybe you could follow me back on Twitter so we can discuss. Sure. In fact, I'll open up. I can't see that option for some reason, but is that your name? Is that your name on Twitter? Let me know your Twitter username, and I'll make sure I don't lose that. Thank you. Okay. Would you consider trying to get most of Apple's products coming out this year? # all Apple products. I think that's kind of the goal, yeah. I'll donate $50 now if you promise you'll show your armpits on live right now. Okay, sure, $50. I'll scar everyone. I'll tell everyone to look away. Yeah, let me know your username on Twitter so I can find that. Quite a big donation. I haven't had that in a while. Thank you. Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, let me get this name really quick, people. Shoot, I lost it. VX. Okay. Just gonna DM. All right, got it. Moving on. Okay, is it time? It's it's time for helium. I guess we did hit our goal. Quite a bit of super chat this evening. Okay, let me get a knife so I can poke this. I have several. Okay, we went ready for the helium. So this means, guys, get ready for perfectly standard questions that I'm gonna answer now in the chat. So let me find some. Do you think Apple will do more? Why do you have knives? People give them to me. I unbox things all the time. Okay, perfect. Kim Jong Shrek.
Do you find that the silicone case loses its grip over time? Same with the watch bands? Well, it's kind of interesting that over time the silicone usually picks up a little bit of oil, which is kind of weird. The leather one doesn't, but what I don't like about the leather is it kind of shows scrapes over time. So that is kind of weird, but yeah. The silicone and the watch bands are kind of made out of the same material. And we're back. Wow, that did not take long. Okay, I'm sampling that. Okay. What's your next big project? I would say that my next big goal in 2018 is to hire my editor, Nathan, so that he can work full-time for Tailosive. Now your armpit. Now you got a super chat for that. You sound like you're 14. What is your favorite iPhone? iPhone 10, of course. Wow, my voice gets rid of that air fast. Goodness. Oh, that was amazing. Do you like your HomePod more than you thought you would? I did. I didn't realize how portable it would be, but the bass and the sound quality I got out of it was definitely more than I was anticipating. Now I sound like I'm 19. Good. Too much of that will make your heart hurt, like when you watch too many painfully honest tech videos. That's not nice. Don't say that. Like a heart. See, I'm destroying this. You sound. This is so bad for you. You're not having that whole balloon, are you? No, of course not. This was kind of a deflated balloon anyway. You sound like your voice in buying houses. Nice. Do you think AirPod is worth it if you have already invested in many Sonos speakers? Well, AirPod compared to actually Sonos speakers. Do you think you will cross 500,000 subs this year? I don't think I'll surpass that big of a subscriber count this year. I think Social Blade anticipates I'll cross 100,000 this winter, probably when I'm reviewing the iPhone 10 and 10 Plus. That's what I would guess. Yeah, most likely 100K, not 500. See, I always remembered helium lasting longer. I guess the air goes out of my voice a lot faster. Prefer the helium voice. Can't you stay like that? I'll stay like this as long as I can. I'll hold it. Is there a chance that Apple will buy Netflix? There's a chance, but I don't see why Netflix would sell themselves. If they did, that would be cool because they could partner Netflix with Apple Music, kind of like Spotify did with Hulu. You actually did the whole balloon. Helium is bad for you. There. Am I dead yet? We did it. You sound like it's my natural color, dude. Okay. Let's see if I got it. Cool. Yep. All right. Got it.
Just making sure I got people contacted. All right, cool. D-brand grip thoughts. I'm not a big fan of D-brand. I know they made a case that's like specifically designed for being grippy. But yeah, I would say it doesn't like, it's not interesting to me just because I like cases that come off really easily. I hope no one believed that. I just thought it would mess with everyone. Hulu with ads is not real. Finally, a YouTuber who doesn't gargle deeper. How to ruin your premium. That was good. Gotcha. You still enjoy your LTE on Apple Watch? I don't use it as much as I used to, just because I like my iPhone 10 so much. I don't want to get rid of that, but yeah, I do use it when I work out mostly. Usually, I can leave the phone at home or at the office when I'm running errands or I'm going to a restaurant or something, and I don't want to be sucked into my phone, so I'll just have a watch on me just in case I need to focus on stuff. But that's it. Do you think Apple will do any more collabs with Nike? I hope they do a product red Nike band. I feel like they'll do that eventually. What do you think about Australia? My girlfriend lived there for a long time. It seems like a cool place to visit. What do you choose, Pixel 2 or the iPhone 10? How do you guys get in here? How do you know what this channel is? New Zealand looks very beautiful. I'd like to be there someday. Yeah, I'm running the latest beta on my iPhone. Okay, what would you want the Pixel team to make you like the Pixel devices? Just have more features than every other phone, which right now Samsung's in charge. The fact that Android is not exclusive means that Android developers need to develop exclusives to their phones independently. And the fact that the Pixel phone doesn't do that means that I think it's a waste of money. So I don't know why anyone would buy that. No one should buy that. Even if you're an Android fan, go Samsung or go Essential or go OnePlus. I don't see the point in Pixel. What's your opinion on the S9 leaks? It looks fine. It doesn't look like it's going to be a major upgrade, but I'll definitely watch the live stream for the reveal when it happens. New Zealand is beautiful. I ever somehow have a butt ton of money, I'll buy you tickets to come visit. Cool. I'd like to come visit sometime. It looks like a phone. Yeah, I was going to say, update from S8 to S9 is one of the most minor Galaxy updates we've ever seen. What do you think about Huawei? Seem cool. Not a huge fan, but yeah, there aren't no exclusives on each Android manufacturer. Samsung has quite a bit of exclusives. I disagree with that. I have not seen the camera ad for the S9. People can complain about HomePods making small rings on a small amount of wood, and yet cell phones can come without the entire operating system and it gets swept under the rug. That's true. There are a couple of Pixel phones that shipped without any operating system on them. That is true. I did see the new Essential phone. I think it's kind of an awkward time to release new colors. I think Essential should probably be more focused on working on the next generation Essential phone because that phone is really, really cool, but it has a lot of very, very obvious issues they could work on and fix. Okay. But yeah, the colors looked neat. I thought it was cool that they made like a matte one instead of a glossy one. Yeah, I did think it was weird that they kept the Bixby button on the S9. I thought, if anything, they should get rid of that. Why is no one making a big deal about the Pixel 2 bend gate where it is clearly cracks at half in bend? Well, because it's made by Google. If Apple's phone makes mistakes, then everyone's going to talk about it. If Google does it, you swipe it under the rug. That's how it works. Do you see that any new companies could come into the phone market? Tide. That'd be hilarious. Tide made smartphones. I bet they would beat Samsung. It's a Tide ad. I would love that. Huawei is shady. They did a competition to make fake reviews about the Mate 10 so you can get an entry to get new devices to review. Okay, I didn't know that, but I thought the Mate 10 looked like an okay phone. I haven't tried a Huawei phone, I think, ever. Yeah. Was it a Vivo? Was that blue? Yeah, blue Vivo I tried out. But the Huawei, I guess, built or designed the 6P or something, so in a way, but I don't know. Don't put your Tide phones in your mouth. No, that's true. What would you change from Apple right now? I would immediately raise the price of the 10 and include a USB-C to a lightning plug, and even include AirPods with the purchase of an iPhone 10. Even if that makes the phone start at $1,400, I don't care. That's just how it should be. You got all your big sales, Apple. Now you can just roll in the big bucks, have people pay 60, 70 bucks a month, and they can pay off their iPhone 10s over 2 years. Would you let dbrand sponsor one of your videos if they asked? Not a huge dbrand fan, but I probably could be bought if they offered the right price. It would have to be a lot, though. If it was like, Drew, we'll give you $100 to say dbrand is great, I'll be like, make it 1,000. We got a deal. So you would like an iPhone 10 Plus? Yes, I like my iPhone 10, but I could definitely see adapting to a much larger display and liking it a lot. I tell people that I think the iPhone 10 is underpriced, and I get looked at like I'm crazy. Glad you agree. Yes, I would too. Lol, you would lie for $1,000? Would you? That's the difference. I've lied for much less. Remember when people asked if 2X was a new office, and I said no? Like that was for your enjoyment. Similarly, if someone was willing to spend $1,000 for a shout out, sure, I'll give you a shout out. I might not 100% believe you, or I might not 100% agree with the shout out, but that $1,000 helps pay for rent. It could help pay for products that you guys want to see reviewed. It's not like that money would go nowhere. It's like that money can be routed back directly into the business. I think a ton of the sponsors YouTubers get all the time, they don't necessarily enjoy or agree with. They got to pay the bills. That's how businesses work. And I don't think me telling you that you should check out dbrand is like a giant tragedy. It's not some big shady thing. It's a normal thing. Besides, they probably won't contact me anyway. Apple should partner up with the new Disney service. Disney gets a lot of subscribers through Apple, and Apple may be the premium platform for Disney getting UI first and stuff and can do bundles with. That's a good idea, Lucas. I didn't think about that. I knew Disney was going to be, the next big streaming service next year, and they're going to pull all of their programming from Netflix. But yeah, if they partnered that with Apple, that would probably do really well. These are the hot questions, of course. This is the questions you get at 12:35 in the morning. It's dark because it's nighttime. You just need to see me. It's fine. Because of my OCD, I go back and forth from supporting Apple to Android. So on a daily basis, I subscribe, then unsub from you at least 3 times a day. Add and remove things from my Apple bag 3 times a day. Wow. So you're that guy that I keep seeing the subscriber count go back and forth. Yes, this is a portrait lighting live stream. It's just focusing on me, right? Review a Tesla car. The fan I met at the Apple store actually had a Tesla. And he said that if I wanted to, I could work with him on reviewing it if I wanted to. I gave him my email, but he never got back to me. But he said he had a Model 3 on the way, which is kind of cool. Really? I've never seen that happen before. Huh. Siri just started listening. I was like, what did I say? I've never had that happen, actually. The Google Assistant goes off constantly, but that time Siri started listening for no reason. It's not about buying or selling on iTunes. Yeah, that's kind of a thing of the past. I would rather have a Tesla Semi than a Roadster. I think that Semi looks so cool. Roadster is like I can only fit, 2 people in there. Semi, think of all the stuff you could haul. Did you ever own an Android phone? I've owned more Android phones than iPhones. Do you realize that? What was it? Blue Vivo 5, Nexus 6P, Galaxy Note 7, Google Pixel, and then it was the Galaxy S8, and then the Essential phone. iPhones I've owned. iPhone 5, 6 Plus, 7 Plus, 8 Plus, 10. So they're about the same, actually. I've been an Apple sheep pretty much all my life. And again, you can check all that kind of stuff out on the Tech Podcast. There's a lot of behind the scenes and upbringing explained back then. Would you use the leather band or the bike band? The bike band. The Nike band. I prefer the Nike band. Well, I like your vids because every other Apple sheep I meet says I like Apple because I am rich and Android is poor. I mean, there's some truth to that. I mean, Apple products are more expensive, but I don't think that's the sole reason they're better. It's obviously they're expensive for a reason. The iPhone 10 is cheap in Australia. It only costs $1,829. Yeah, that's fine. I would still buy it. Why do you call yourself an Apple sheep? Because during my upbringing, when I would argue with people about Apple all the time, that was the most common term I got accused of being. So I just decided if I called myself that, then them calling me that wouldn't mean anything. Because it's like, you're an Apple sheep. I know, that's my name. They'd be like, it hurts the argument. That's why I go with that route. Anyway, we've reached an hour, guys. So thank you for tuning in. Thanks for the super chats. It was fun to kill my heart, obviously, with helium. Is there any left in there? Where is it? There it is. Oh. Is there any left in there? No, it's definitely out. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And see you in the next one. This is your Apple Sheep here. And I hope you have a great night. Take care.